Peace, family. Welcome to the channel. I am Empress Chris, and today we're going to go over some ways to embody the version of you who already has it all. When we have the desire to change who we used to be to that new person, there are ways that you can embody that new version of you before you actually materialize that version of you. You can call it pretending, acting as if, but let's see some ways that we can embody the version of us that has it all.
I transformed myself from this to this. At that time, my words had zero meaning. And what I mean by that, I was always saying, okay, I'm gonna start working out. I'm gonna start getting good grades. I'm gonna start posting on social media. And then none of that would happen. I would just fail myself over and over again. So I started my winter art. Instead of waiting till January 1st like everyone else, I used the winter months to lock in. And I journaled every single day about my dream self and my dream life. And fast forward to now, I live in my dream apartment. I have my dream career. I've become the most healthy, fit version of myself. And I want every single person that is watching right now to experience that same transformation because, girl, you deserve it. And if you want to have that same transformation, I created the perfect journal for this. This journal lasts 90 days. It is literally perfectly designed for you to lock in and become your best self. There's daily wellness prompts and even prompt ideas so you never run out of things to journal about. And this journal is genuinely what I wish I had when I first started my winter art. So yeah, if you want to change your life, join me these next 90 days. Get ahead of everyone else and hit all of your goals. And let's lock in together, besties.
You are the only person stopping you from becoming the best version of yourself. Listen closely. If you want something in life, whether that be money, abundance, financial freedom, whatever it is, if your actions don't line up to what you're saying, you can't expect to have these things. And I was a victim of this for 8 years. I was a server for 8 years and I recently quit and I haven't looked back since. No, I might not be making as much as I was yet, but I'm on the path to creating the life that I've always wanted, which was never an option when I was a server. So if you don't plan on staying at your job forever, leave that shit behind and start your new chapter. Create the life that you've always wanted because you are the only person that can make that possible. And I believe in you.
You want to really become the best version of yourself quickly? Here's what you're going to do. You're going to imagine that every single action that you take or don't take is programming who you are, because that is literally what is happening. So for example, imagine that every time you stick to a new habit or you do something, maybe something that you really didn't want to do in the moment, you are teaching your mind to identify you as someone who is disciplined, who shows up for themselves, who puts their goals over how they feel in any given moment. And over time, as you do that, your identity shifts and that becomes your default setting in everything you do. Now, on the other side of that, imagine that every time you don't feel like doing something that's inching you closer to your goals, you just don't do it. You're like, I'll do it later. That is how your brain now identifies you, and that becomes your default setting in everything you do. When you think about the best, most ideal version of yourself, are they a make my dreams come to life, make it happen, get it done kind of person, or are they a I'll do it later kind of person? Okay, exactly. So who are you gonna be today in order to teach your mind to identify you as the ideal version of you right now? That is identity shifting. That's where the transformation happens. Every time you are faced with a decision to do something or not do something, take the action that the ideal version of yourself would take, and you will inevitably become that version of you.
Yeah, guys, I use that. I really want to gain a life of wellness, going to the gym, working out, and I had never, ever in my life stuck to that, ever. But I really, really wanted so badly to be more healthy on the outside as well as the inside. And what I did was I made a contract with myself, a commitment to myself that no matter what, I was going to go, get up and go. Even if I only walked, I started out walking. Even if I only walked 2 laps, I was going to go every day, no matter what. That day was March the 24th. So that was a year plus ago. Today, I work out 5 days a week at the gym, weights, walking. I go Monday to Friday. If I miss, it's only because it's an absolute. I had surgery a few weeks ago, so of course I missed. I had to have surgery. But because I committed to no matter what, going, even if I only walk 2 laps, even if I only walk 3 laps, that build up a new me. So after 30 days, 60 days, 90 days, it became my default. It became the new version of me. I became that version. So today, that's my typical routine. I'm at the gym 5 days a week. It's not hard. It's easy. Now it's supporting me. So definitely, whatever you're trying to do, just do some version of it. Even if it's uh you want to do YouTube, even if you make a 3-minute video one day a week or whatever, just do some version of what you desire to be or desire to do.
So if you are currently feeling in a rut at the minute with your life, you're not enjoying things, you're not very happy, and you feel like the highest version of you is so far out of reach, I'm going to share with you exactly how I became the person I've always wanted to be. Of course, it happens over time, but it starts with really small steps. And whenever I'm feeling unaligned or like I'm not being the best version of myself, I always go back to this exercise. I want you to think about the highest version of yourself. What do they wear? What food do they eat? What's their morning routine like? What's their night routine like? And then literally implement that into your life. And if you can't do that now, what is stopping you from doing that? So does your higher self wake up early? Does she dress well? Does she smell nice? What jewelry does she wear? The more specific you can get, the faster you can make it happen. I started to know exactly what higher Vicky would do and then start to implement it in my life. So she dresses well. So to implement this, I set time aside every Sunday to pick out my outfits for the week. She's organized and has a tidy bedroom. So I set 10 minutes aside every day just to give my room a tidy. Once you work backwards and sort out those tiny details first, the end goal doesn't seem so far out of reach anymore. If you think of the highest version of yourself, you're not just going to become that person overnight. It is all these small habits that add up eventually to you becoming them.
How would an abundant person think? Write it down, dude, and fire and wire those thoughts in your brain and install the hardware. Keep doing it with attention and intention. It becomes the new voice in your head. It becomes a software program. Then say, okay, how am I going to be in my life today? What would an abundant person, how would they behave? And before you reach for your cell phone and start scrolling through your social media, close your eyes and rehearse in your mind how that person would walk, how they would breathe, how they would smile, how they would greet people, how they would be on Zoom calls, how would they be in traffic, how would they be at dinner. And the act of closing your eyes and mentally rehearsing the act, if you're truly present, the brain does not know the difference between the real life experience and what you're imagining. In fact, just a little bit of time, you start to install the neurological hardware to look like you already did it. Now the brain is no longer a record of the past, it's primed for the future. Keep doing it, keep rehearsing. No different than playing an instrument, no different than learning how to dance, no different than learning how to act or play a sport. Everybody's always rehearsing, right? The rehearsal process changes the brain to look like you've already done it, you've already experienced it. Now, what's the essential part of that? The hardware is in place. Now all you gotta do is step into the footprint. Keep doing it, it becomes a software program. You start acting like an abundant person.
All I ask you to do is to be the best of yourself, not the best of another person. And that's another thing. As you depart now, Yoruba people say 20 children do not play together for 20 years. So all of you will not emerge at the same level at the same time. Don't worry about that. Don't follow any other person's clock. Follow your time scale. Be the best of yourself at every stage of your life. Celebrate your friends that succeed at a stage, but don't despise or be envious of them, because your own time will come. Everybody's time is different. If you follow your own time, you will be successful in your own time, and your success would last for a lifetime, and it will be a great legacy. I commit into your hands the greatness and the future of this nation. I commit into your hands my dream and my aspiration for a great nation. I commit into your hands the challenge and the responsibility of building a nation that the whole world will look at and bow. Why? Because in this country, there's everything that we need to be great. and you will be a key part of unlocking that potential. To whom much has been given, much is expected.
Your higher self knows. Your higher self knows the next steps. It knows the right people. It's keeping track of everything that you can't see. The people you need to meet, the ideas that can make you successful, those opportunities that are in the field right now. And your only job is to, number one, become the highest version of you who can live the life you want. Number two, surrender into the unknown of how it's delivered and how it's created. Because you can't control the how, you cannot control the when, but you can control the energy that you're embodying that will create the how and the when.
Self-concept is an everyday thing. It's every day stepping into the version of you who has everything they want. You have to believe it in your mind, believe it and step into it and live from that version of you and affirm that version of you and not settle for less and not react for less in your 3D. Create that image of yourself in your mind first and live from that place. And then watch as your outside world will mirror it. And that's why you work on this every day with all the techniques and all the things that people tell you to do, including myself: mirror work, meditation, sleep tracks, subliminals, scripting. You are reprogramming your mind to believe and assume new things about yourself so that you live your life from a new identity and align with better, more elevated people and experiences. It all comes down to you. First and foremost, work on your self-concept and then watch at the things that start showing up in your life.
The self-concept is definitely a game changer. When you work on your self-concept, because most of us, unfortunately, life shows us if it's things about you that you don't like, the world is going to mirror those things back to you, the good and the bad. And unfortunately, we can hold on to that negative things that people tend to show us, i.e. if you being bullied, or we was all junior high and elementary kids, we was being bullied, or you darker than everybody else, or you heavier than everybody else, or your clothes is not name brand, whatever the case may be. But now that we are adults, you have to become clear about who you want to be now, because you have the right, you have the empowerment to change that version of you whenever you so desire. Whenever you so desire. I went to college in the early 90s, and it was about 5 of us friends. And out of the friends, I was the only one that didn't graduate. I quit college. I played around. All my other friends got degrees. At that point, I felt bad. I was embarrassed, disappointed. So I quit. But I always had a dream to be a nurse. And although I didn't have the drive or the discipline to do the work at that time, it never left me. And I found myself throughout the next years after I quit college, I would do different things to be in that setting. I was a secretary at the hospital. I was a unit clerk. So when you think about it, unbeknownst to me back then, I was kind of embodying becoming a nurse. So later in life, in my 30s, I went back to school and I finally got a degree in nursing. But it took me a long time. But when I think about things and when I kind of reverse engineer to look back and see how was I able to accomplish that? And I think about it like, I did it because I actually was embodying working at the hospital. I wasn't a nurse, but I was still working at the hospital with patients, with people, with nurses and techs and doctors. And that gave me the drive to go on and actually committed to that goal. So we can use that for anything, anything. Nobody can hold you back from being a version of you that has whatever you want. What do you want? Whatever you want, whatever you desire. And I hope this video helps someone, because this information has really helped me in my life. I've been on this journey for about 10 years, on this spiritual journey, working from within out. But I've been working with people for a long time. I've been a nurse for almost 20 years, working with behavioral health, working with pediatrics, geriatrics, working with people. And I just feel at this point, we all need some encouragement to go from within to come out. Everybody should be able to live the life that they desire to live. Not just me, not just people you see on the internet, everybody. So if you want to start your journey, or you're on your journey, you want support, tap into the channel, subscribe, and we'll be here to help you and guide you through, as I am also still on my journey, on this journey. And I will continue to share. So subscribe, and I am out for this one. With love, Empress.